Hey guys, welcome back to Severna. So I've had a few requests to do more live playthrough videos. I'd like to broadcast live on YouTube, but my internet is pretty naff. I am looking at trying to get that upgraded, even though I live in the centre of the town that I live in. It's quite historical, and there's like a load of hoo-ha about digging up the streets to put fibre in. Even though when I look out of my window, I can literally see the local telephone exchange. But anyway, yeah, it is something that I will be hopefully upgrading soon. So I will be able to go live. I mean, I can try it, but we'll see. We'll see. It tends to be a lot better at night. I guess that's because not as many people are using it, I suppose. Yeah, but we will simulate a live playthrough by live recording the in-game footage with me talking over it. See, I'm right here, right now. I can move the screen. So, as you know, this is Severna. It's quite low population at the moment. I've just paused it just because obviously I don't want time going on too much whilst I'm not really concentrating on the game, because yeah, this game doesn't appreciate that. So it's all pretty new doing this kind of footage. After it's gone up, if there's any information that I've missed, or that there's certain aspects of the game that you would like more details on, then just leave a comment and I will get back to you, and I will endeavour to provide that for you. So at the moment, we are quite low on the population scale. We've got 21,674, got 0% unemployment rate at the moment, but that's because we are building this new power plant. So a lot of or might not have put that in actually. I'm not sure, but what I do is every bus stop that's in a residential area, I will build a corresponding construction office with buses. Because it's a really good way of, one, keeping your unemployment level down, and also making sure that your buildings get built in a timely fashion. So here's one here. So all it will be is buses. There's nothing else on there at all. So it's got no other responsibilities. All it does is just goes and picks up the passengers from a bus stop. And I imagine that that will be this bus stop here. So we will need to integrate the new power plant into the national grid. So this is, I do tend to use underground cables most of the time, because when the game first came out, you didn't have that option. You could only build overground cables. And my god, was it a mess trying to. You were constantly rebuilding these lines and moving them around, and it was, it was something to do. Don't get me wrong, but it did take a lot of game time, and it looked hideous. These black hair, it looks like they used to look just like hair, just like all over everything. So I do use underground cables. One thing that I think I do maybe not do quite correctly is I will always use the top one, the medium voltage. Right, these ones I don't really use them. I have the high voltage power lines. That does make it. I think that they do make quite a difference, because you don't want them getting overloaded and dumping a load of electricity and shorting out and things. So what I'm going to do now is ready for when the new power station comes online. This power line here, which is nice and green at the moment, which means everything is absolutely fine with it. So it's carrying 10,000 volts to this substation here, and then that will be it will get turned to underground, and it will go to the actual I mean, they're called substations as well, but like the low voltage substations. I think that these really are actually called, in real life, these are called transformers, because they transform the high voltage electricity coming off the the high voltage lines into low voltage. So they transform the electricity, but that, you know, it doesn't really matter. So what I will use to plug that in, you can either use one of these switches, which are okay, but I do prefer this modded one, which is available on the Play Store, available on the workshop, under one of the great contributors to that community. I would say that most of the buildings that I use are actually mod buildings. There's very few base game buildings in the game. The one guy that I know his name because he just makes so many great workshop items is Rob74, and then there's another guy, Lex174, something like that. I'm really sorry. I will try and remember to put you guys in the description, because you do some really great work, and you do really enhance the game and help with that the variety of the buildings to keep it looking realistic, so it's not just, you know, just carbon copies over and over again. So this power line at the moment has got two different transformers on it, so they're both carrying 10,000 volts, and this connects all the way back to our main power station at the moment, which is only 34% utilized, but power obviously is the backbone of your republic. You do not want any issues with your power, because power goes, everything goes. So primarily this new power plant will be for the new urban development that will be going on here in Severna, but we also want it, because it is quite a powerful, would you say that? Would you say powerful for a power station? Anyway, it will generate a lot of power. So it's going to be connected directly to a coal mine, essentially, and that should serve Severna for the foreseeable future. I believe it is. Where is it? This one, I think. Yeah. So it puts out 4,200 megawatts of energy. So it's essentially like 3 of the gas-powered power plants. So as you can see, that one is only being utilised to 33%. So it should definitely provide enough energy for what I plan to do with Severna City over here. So let's get that connected in. So we've got the two. So this is where you sort of your foresight and planning will come in. So I've got 2 transformers here. So I'm not going to want to put it here, because the energy will bottleneck at this, and then we'll spread to this. I mean, they're not being highly utilised at the moment, so it doesn't really matter, but obviously that's not always going to be the case. So I'm going to plan ahead and put this in the middle of these 2 substations. So I will need to temporarily cut these wires, but I won't unpause the game. So we'll pop that. Is there a way that I can... So that... Yeah, so... May be able to put the power line going across here. But it's not going to be a huge amount of electricity required at this point. I mean, I could actually get away with actually putting this one on and just having the one connection. And I can use an underground wire for that. Pop that in there. So we'll have it on auto build, which I do always tend to do with really important infrastructure, unless it's something like Severna City where there won't be any people relying on it straight away. So go underground. Oh. Just follow this road straight up. I mean, yeah, it's fine. It is more expensive to build the underground cables, but it's so much better in the long term. So I'll pop that there. So you can see we've got lots of high voltage power outputs on this coal power plant. So just do. So even though the power plant's not built, we will get that power going. So as you can see, everything's green. You always want these to be 230 or as near as damn it. So here I can see straight away that the power fluctuation here is a little bit iffy. So it's flicking down to 28. I mean, that's not, don't get me wrong, that is not an issue really. But it means that maybe these substations are quite high on the, yeah, so we've got, so 70% usage on that one. I mean, the power was probably the one thing that stopped me playing. I mean, as you can see, 6,000 playtime hours. I love this game. When I first bought it, the power was the thing that I was just like, at first, like, how do I get the power working? So you always remember you want so it's high voltage transformer, and then from transformer into substation. And then the substations are what you actually use to see the little yellow spider lines coming out. If those little spider lines aren't coming out of what you've got, that's not a substation, and that's not going to provide power to anything. Some power stations will have medium voltage outputs as well. I don't think this power plant has them. This just has high voltage outputs. Not 100% sure with this one. Yeah, so we've got some low voltage outputs here. So sort of immediate vicinity, you can just have the power lines coming straight out there, and then you can use a low voltage splitter to utilize that, because one of those outputs can support several substations depending on the substation utilization. So it just saves on wires. It stops you having that, that sort of spaghetti junction of wires around your power plants. I do always try, as anyone who plays this game knows, you always start the game, right, I'm going to keep all the wires straight, I'm going to keep everything all organised and all pretty. Doesn't always work out that way, especially when, something stops working, you just want it to get working again. You will just build stuff in the most direct fashion possible, which maybe not always be the most realistic way to do it. It's all, it doesn't really matter. It's a game at the end of the day. But I do find that the more organised that you have your underground wires, and especially your sewerage system, the easier it is to deal with issues in the future with it, and to, if you have any problems with that. So this power station is, the construction is underway. I believe it would be quite expensive to build myself, so You see the values constantly going down as it is constructed, but it is being built pretty quickly, to be fair. I mean, I can increase. I don't think I've even got enough workers in the Republic to get it up to that level, but we should build this quite quickly. And we'll start connecting up some power, some substations into Severna City once that is constructed. Oh, I've just remembered actually, one thing I noticed, I don't have a conveyor belt going from that coal storage site. I'm not going to be able to build. Oh, I am. So we'll pop this here. Alright, connect that there. And I think what I'm going to do as well is have a secondary storage, but a smaller one that's just for the power plant. So I'm going to, obviously that coal is going to be used not just for power, but other things as well. So I don't want that to be auto-built because it's not vital infrastructure at the moment. The only reason I auto-built this was because it's a road and it'll just be a pain to... But this is a socialist republic, so any extra money that is in the coffers should always be used for the betterment of the state. Right, so that's straight. I don't want it all to look all wonky. That's not... Oh. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Click. Right, so that's not necessary infrastructure, so that will be built by our local construction company. So I think what I'm going to do is build factory, electronics and chemical factory here. And then a new high density residential area here because I'm going to have a lot of students maturing, so children maturing soon. Because we got, excuse me. So we've got at the moment 2,124 16 to 21 year olds, and they're going to be wanting to move out of mum and dad soon and start their own families. So we need somewhere for them to go. And also, like, we need some workers for the factory here. I don't very often build roads with the local industry because I do find it quite tedious because you must keep on going back to check because it will only do it one section at a time, and you can just always forget like one little bit. Say like you were building this and there was a bit here that wasn't actually constructed, it wouldn't detect it and have to go back, blah, 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 blah. And roads aren't really that expensive, and the reason I export stuff is to make money for that kind of thing. So my workers and my citizens in my republic have better lives. I do always try and keep the happiness at 99%. You can see the Republic does obviously have issues. Like we've got the crime, which is affecting 1,000. So that has actually just gone down. And we've got death of child, which is 5, which is 35% of the unhappiness, which I'm not sure why someone's child has died. That's very unfortunate. But we will endeavour to reduce child death in the future. Anyway, so that the power plant is now connected to the national grid. So once it's operational, it will start providing power to North Severna. But as I said, its primary work area will be Severna City. Right, so I just want to connect up this. So this is a new incineration plant that I've built. I am trying to keep the health really high at 92%. I'd like to keep the health above 90. And obviously because I have not, Severna is not the biggest of islands. I don't want to fill it up with landfill sites and such. So I am actually exporting a lot, well, not a lot, all of my waste at the moment. So there is a port here, exporting waste. Support here, exporting waste. And a port here, exporting waste. So it's like a triangle to help. So it's, keeps it nice and efficient. It is expensive to do, but it does help keep your pollution in the Republic down. And in island the size of Severna, I think even in real life that would be quite a important thing to consider. That people will constantly be creating rubbish. You put it in landfill, it's gonna always be there, isn't it? So right. So I will time lapse the building of this power plant now. Oh, actually, no, see, it got distracted. I do just want to get this going. So, yeah, so on mixed waste, it is... Where's mixed waste? Assumption 58, process inefficiency. So, yeah, so we'll still do the same thing. It will still be exporting the waste, but it's exporting what's left after some of it's burnt away. I will keep my eye. Actually, I do need to build a pollution monitoring station. Make sure when you do it, you switch off the notification for it, because it will just keep on telling you that an area has pollution. It will keep bringing up the notification. So set the notification level quite high, or to switch it off altogether. Otherwise, it does start to get annoying. You know where the pollution is, but and it's handy to check. You don't need to be because I've got the steel mill here as well. So this will kind of be like a sink of pollution. So we're going to have the power plant here, yada yada yada, all this here, but then the main population centre is going to be all the way over here. So that will help keep the pollution down. So this will be the future sort of main area. I know it doesn't look at the moment, but this will one day be a grand metropolis. I think I'm going to try and keep this side of the island pretty wild and not really develop it. So say maybe develop as far as, all this coastline here, all the here, and maybe as far as here if need be. But then for most of the time, try and keep this side of the island to nature, really. Okay. So we need to connect up the water here. So I should have quite a lot of outputs. Got several water producers. So we've got one here. And then I believe there's another one over here somewhere. Yeah, here. So there's 2 at the moment. So we will be building another one. So basically, Severna City will be like building an entire new republic. So it's going to have, I'm going to double up everything. So I don't want to put any extra strain on what already exists on this area. Okay, so try and get as many different buildings as possible. Right, so furthest I can go is here. And I always use the medium ones when I'm just connecting one water tank up, or otherwise you can end up with too much pressure in the system. Then also you can also end up with not enough, so do keep an eye on that. I also like to check when I build them. There we go. So now it has a nice bit of water. There's no workers yet, so I believe. So what I'll do is build a nice little path. Oh, there's already. Why can't they? So some of the workers go there, but there's not as many workers needed at the incinerator plant as there is at the steel mill, so we'll bring that down. So if you ever find yourself frustrated that the citizens don't walk very far, which is something I really struggled with in the game, because I was used to playing like City Skylines and SimCity, things where that's not people just sort of get there, if you know what I mean. But in this game, you do have to consider that you are responsible for designing a way for them to actually get to where they need to go, and they can walk about 400 meters, I think. But then if you have them walking, say, this bus station, and then set the workers where should they go, set that to another bus station or something, like, you do get that extra sort of extra like 200 meters from bus station to bus station, but they will only hop from one to one other one, so you can't like daisy chain three. They won't do that. You can do it, you can set that. It's not going to not let you do it, but the citizens just won't walk that far, I think. Up until the last sort of few versions of the game, it was quite a mystery of this kind of thing. But the documentation with the game is now a lot better than it used to be. Right, so let's get this going. So I'm going to want quite a large technical services building. So 18, 11, 6, 9. I think that this is the biggest one available. Oh, did I just see 30? No. So that one's got 24. But yeah, I'm going to use this one. We'll put this here. Might not fit in here. Oh, look at that! Is like addictive. I think when you're doing something, you see it click green. You're like, yeah, I can get that in there. Yeah, I can afford to just build that just to show, just to get this going. So that's hazardous waste, mixed waste, and then this is the Audi. So I will need a smaller station, but one with So we'll build a smaller one. So don't need as many vehicles, but this one will have the vehicles with much higher capacity because these are large containers that it can pick up from. The truck I want hasn't actually been, oh no, there we go. So this one can carry a lot, so it's 39 tons. And this will then export. So what's the nearest one? That one. So you want to set it low so it's not trying to run off and do other things. So that will where it will kick out its hazardous waste. With the power station, the waste disposal buildings, make sure that you're using the directional factory connections, or otherwise it can mess it up and go wrong. So hazardous waste there, so it'll put that out there, that out here, and then they should come and pick it up. And I've also got these here just in case, and these will pick up stuff from there and maybe. See, I'd have like daisy chained incinerators in the past to see if you can get it to where there's literally nothing, but it doesn't really work like that, unfortunately. You do need to get rid of the waste either in landfill or via export. So this one. This one will be. We want this set quite high. Oh, wrong one. So we'll have mostly these, but then we will have a couple of them just for good measure. And they should all start running out now. So now another thing I need to do is my fuel distribution. I'm going to have to build another one soon because I'm at 18 jobs, 18 locations that it serves. We'll drop the fuel off there, or otherwise you end up with just crowding. Always, if the building has fuel storage, always try and use it, because it does save the traffic all bunching up around petrol stations or gas stations, which does affect performance of the game in the future. It's all right at the moment with a population of 21,000, only a few hundred vehicles on the road, but as the game expands, that becomes an issue. So we've got some workers. We've got 2 workers at the moment in there, but there's no waste. So let's see how long this takes to find some waste for it. Probably not very long, to be fair. Look at them little workers all going out. Well, they're probably all going to a petrol station at the moment because this doesn't have its own fuel supply, but it will. So already, look, we've got a truck there bringing some mixed waste in. And there we go, we've got operation. So just going to let the power plant be built now. So I'm going to time lapse that. So enjoy. Speak to you soon. Okay, so there we go. The new power plant is now built. It's ready for workers. We'll just connect it up to the drinking water system. So I'll put the water tank here so I can serve both the coal processing building and this. I don't think that's gonna... it still has water in it. It might just supply... it might just have enough juice literally for one more. Yeah, so that's that connected in, he says. Why is that not filling up? Have I not connected it right? I have not. This is why it was so important to check that what you've done has definitely worked. Because that, I mean, if I look back on the video... ah, it's not done it again, has it? No. If I look back on the video, it'll probably be obvious that that's not connected, but these things you do miss. There we go, so it's filling out with water now. And we will be building another residential area, just, you know, with a few blocks of flats around here in the next video, or maybe... I don't want to put them too close to that factory there. So yeah, I might build a first residential area here with a bus or a tram that will take workers directly to these. So thank you for tuning in for this another little update on the development of the Severna Republic. It is very early days at the moment, and like I said, I am trying a few different things. So in this map there are very few distribution requirements for road trucks. I am trying to use rail for all food, clothing, meat as much as I can. Obviously prisons and orphanages, there might be one on the workshop that has a warehouse connection, but but yeah, as far as I know, there isn't any that I've come across. So they will be, that will always need trucks delivering the food to these, but other than that, the main supply, the citizens, which obviously will make up the bulk of that requirement, will be done via trains into these storehouses here. I'm going to see how far I can take that and see if that helps with performance later on in the game. So just before I go, I'm going to just do one more thing that I think does make a difference in the game, but it's purely aesthetic. But really, you know, I think that aesthetics are sometimes just as important as the actual facility. So put down some gravel roads here. I just think, you know, in real life you wouldn't just have these very sophisticated and large buildings just plonked in dirt. They would have some form of, you know, concrete around them. Same with the coal mines, the steel production here. I didn't do it at the time, but I will just do that. Same with the incinerator. You know, in real life these would be, you know, you'd have a lot more. I always try and do it around shops as well. Helps create plazas. See, I've got it all around here, all around the food distribution centre, and around, you know, the public areas. in the earlier part of the city. Okay, so yeah, that was just a little, little note there. So yeah, so thank you very much for tuning in today, and keep a lookout for my other videos. I will try and release as many videos as I can, so everyone doesn't go off the boil waiting for another video to come along. It is quite sporadic. I do my job can change, and certain days I won't be able to release videos quite as often or as quickly in certain weeks, depending on, I'm just gonna do this actually, depending on when I'm working. But if you leave a comment on any of my videos, I will get back to you. I try and answer all comments, even if I don't understand what they mean. I will always try and find out what they do mean. And if you have any questions regarding the game, a lot of this game now is second nature to me. So something that I'm doing, I might not even realise that that's something that somebody would like to explore or have more information on. So do leave that in the comments, and I will address it. So yeah, make sure you visit Severna again soon. Please like and subscribe. As you can see, it's quite a small channel at the moment, so it really does make a difference and helps spread the knowledge of Severna across the world, and we can build this republic together. All right, have a great evening, whatever you're doing, and yeah, take care. Bye bye.